1 Samuel chapter 30. Ziklag and ruins. Before David and his men reached Ziklag, on the third day, the Amalekites had raided the NAB and Ziklag. They stormed Ziklag and set it on fire. They took captive the women and all who were in the city, young and old, killing no one. They herded them off when they left. David and his men arrived in the city to find it burned to the ground and their wives and sons and daughters taken captive. Then David and those who were with him wept aloud until they could weep no more. David's two wives, Ahinoam of Jezreel and Abigail, the widow of Nabal at Carmel, had also been carried off. Ooh. Now David found himself in great danger, for the soldiers spoke of stoning him. So bitter were they over the fate of their sons and daughters. David took courage in the Lord his God and said to Abiathar, the priest, son of Ahimelech, "Bring me the ephod." When Abiathar brought him the ephod, David inquired of the Lord, "Shall I pursue these raiders? Can I overtake them?" The Lord answered him, "Go in pursuit, for you will certainly overtake them and bring about a rescue." Woohoo! Raid on the Amalekites. So David went off with 600 as far as the Wadi Besar, where those who were to remain behind halted. David continued to pursue with 400, but 200 had remained behind. An Egyptian was found in the open country and brought to David. They gave him food to eat and water to drink. They also offered a cake of pressed figs and 2 cakes of pressed raisins. When he had eaten, he revived, for he had not taken food or drunk water for 3 days or 3 nights. Then David asked him, "To whom do you belong and where you come from?" I am an Egyptian, the slave of an Amalekite." He replied, "My master abandoned me 3 days ago because I felt sick. We raided the Negeb of the Cherethites, the territory of Judah, and the Negeb of Caleb, and we set Ziklag on fire." Then David asked him, "Will you lead me down to these raiders?" He answered, "Swear to me by God that you will not kill me or hand me over to my master, and I will lead you down to the raiders." So he led them down there, and where there were Amalekites lounging all over the ground, eating, drinking, celebrating because of the rich plunder they had taken from the land of the Philistines and from the land of Judah. The plunder recovered. From dawn till sundown the next day, David attacked them. Following no one escape, 400 young men who mounted their camels and fled. David recovered everything the Amalekites had taken. He rescued his 2 wives. Nothing was missing, small or great, plunder or sons or daughters of all that the Amalekites had taken. David brought back everything. Moreover, David took the sheep, oxen, and drove these before him. They shouted, This is David's plunder. Division of the plunder. When David came to the 200 men who had been too exhausted to follow him, who he left behind at the wall of Besar, they came out to meet him and the men with him. David approached, he greeted them, but all the greedy, worthless among them, those who had accompanied David, said, Since they did not accompany us, we'll not give them anything from the plunder, except for each man's wife and his children. But David said, You must not do this, my brothers. After what the Lord has given us, the Lord has protected us, delivered into our hand raiders that came against us. Who could agree with this proposal of yours? Rather, the share of the one who goes down to battle shall be the same as those who remain with the baggage. They share alike. And from that day forward, he made this law and a custom in Israel, as it is still to this day. David's gift to Judah. When David came to Ziklag, he set apart of the plunder to his friends, the elders of Judah, saying, This is a gift to you from the plunder of Bethel, Ramoth Negeb, Jetur, Aror, Sifmoth, Eshtemoa, Rakal, Jerahmeel cities and Kenite cities, Hormah, Borashan, Athak, Hebron, and to all the places that David and his men had frequented.